Are we good? All right, let's blind people with light mode, because that's fun. All right. How are we doing here? Let's check. Checking. All right. We are live. Now, we do not have Rusty Actual again because we're still in the middle of a code refactoring. And by refactoring, I don't actually mean refactoring. What we are doing is trying to make it easier to take the motion capture data, which I'm currently using right here, and porting it over to actual Rusty on the other side of the screen. Or the other side of the screen, other side of the room. And that way I don't have to have multiple cameras, a camera and a phone and everything going at once. Plus, working on his neck, which is currently up on the screen. This is the device that'll be rotating his neck using a bike brake line, actually. So, here we are going to go. Let me just get some stuff going here. All right. Oh, thank you, Waffletron. Awesome name. Thank you, Waffletron, for following. Welcome. I'm Rusty Robot Factory. Combination of the low polygon VTuber at the moment here, being controlled with motion capture software, and a IRL puppet controlled by the same software, but moving around using servos and fun motors and such. Let me see. Bring up a little picture. There's a tiny picture there of Rusty. Actually, do we have a larger picture? No, we have the cannot connect source. We do not have a larger version of Rusty on this screen. There we go. There's the larger version. So currently, the part that was on the last screen is going to be down off camera, down there, allowing him to turn the neck back and forth like that. Like so. So that's in progress, and also the neck right here with the gears is very creaky at the moment. So I think I just need to change out this bolt that's hiding right there. You can kind of see it in the photo. Swap out that bolt with a nice little piece of brass, so it can brass with a little silicone on it, help it spin a little better and not bind up as much. I was tearing apart an old laser printer last night to try and get a little gear train out of it and a servo motor, but I have to do a little more research before I start playing with random electronics that I don't know their specs, because that could be a little dangerous. I already noticed, because the printer had been sitting for a while, that it's like, what's that delicious smell coming out of the fan? And it turned out that it more or less worked fine, except there was gearbox oil, like really fine gearbox oil from some of the gears, or there's one of the motors or steppers or something, that was on the fuser, which is a very high heat element, and that was wafting right into my face as I was poking around it. So not recommended. But I would love to use more authentic junk pieces and parts for IRL Rusty. The more the merrier. We already have the printer or scanner tray up above and an actual camera lens here, which I have mimicked right here. See, yeah. And then over here we have a 3.5-inch disk drive, little modem, noise reduction, noise filter. There we go. Line noise filter. Old headphone on this side, which I don't have modeled on this model yet. And someday I'll decide on what to do with the antenna over here. Right now it's a little piece of cardboard just for fun. Maybe thinking like a tape deck or a CD-ROM drive. Have a CD spinning around up here. I think that could be kind of fun. But for now, it's cardboard. There actually is a servo sitting behind there that I just need to plug into the Arduino board, and that can control it. But for now, cardboard. Alright, so I think I'm going to get back over here. Let's go back to the model that we're working on. There we go. Have a good old Fusion 360 up right now. And I'm not affiliated or anything, or partner, or any of those fun Twitch things yet, so I'm okay with using this version. Most of IRL Rusty's parts, that internal parts in the head, were modeled in Fusion here. It's just really nice for the kind of CAD work that I'm doing. In this case, 3D printing. So it could be done in any other Blender or any other 3D software. But nope, for now we're using Fusion until I start making money, I suppose. Because then Autodesk might get on my case about not having a shh. That reminds me, still need to model the invisible coffee mug here. Hand tracking is just fine. I just need to get a coffee mug in there. Okay. So, this guy in the background. What we see here, it is, I believe, 100 millimeters across. And I even put in speed holes for, make it go faster and smoother, right? Speed holes is a, let's say, like a hobby woodworker, machinist, craft maker. There we go, hobby maker term for, oops, I drilled too many holes. In this case, they're actually useful because actually cut a meter of printer filament out of this 3D printed part. Same amount of time because I had to make all the little swirlies for the holes, but yeah. Saved 1/330th of a roll. Okay. So the part I'm working on tonight before we get back to the mecha modeling is going to be this outside part, shown here as outer test. So if we hide outer test for the moment, what we have here is, can you see the cursor? Okay, good, we have the cursor. What we have here is the this is where the pipe that comes down from the neck on IRL Rusty over there, who is offline on the other side of the screen. There's a pipe that comes down from the neck to control the back and forth head rotation. I guess that'd be the y-axis in this case. And is currently controlled, well, I had it controlled by 2 strings that I would tug back and forth. Don't have it hooked up to a servo yet because I need a little bit torquier motor before I trust his head whipping back and forth with all the weight up here in the noggin. So it is currently manual controlled. And this, there's a disclaimer. This is an IRL puppet robot. So this is one of the few puppet parts aside from the motion capture itself. So here, back and forth, this sits at the base of the neck, the pipe coming down into the socket right here. And then in this groove, zoom in a little bit, in this groove is where the brake line wire, brake line cable, sits in this groove. Oops, no, don't do whatever that was. Let's try that again. Get out of the sketch mode, thank you. Hide sketches. There we go. So it sits in this groove, and this was based on the joining part where the foot pedal is, because I have it on a foot pedal. So it's the same shape, same size. Right here is where one end of the brake line sits, is locked in a little socket. But on the counterpart on Rusty, I had to drill a hole over on this side. I wasn't quite sure how it would line up. I don't have everything measured, precisely exactly, so. But what we do have here is, I manually drilled a hole right here just to accommodate for the brake line. And that part works great. However, we need a shell to hold the brake line to this, we'll call it a pulley for now. It's not quite a pulley, or sheave. Yeah, we need to hold the brake line in here when we pull the brake line back and forth. Let's see, let's show the matching pedal. Here's the matching pedal. You can see here's where the end of the brake. Oops, you cannot see that. There we go. Here's that hole where the little piece fused on the end of the brake cable sits. The brake line rides in this groove. And here's the foot pedal because it actually centers on this pivot. I control this for the back and forth. Once it's all hooked up, of course. So this piece, already made. I made a little joke post on Twitter and Blue Sky that this is forbidden waffles. I don't think I actually have it saved on my computer here. Put it on Zitter. Come on, you gonna let me go to my own account? Here we go. The forbidden waffles. Because, right? Looks kind of like waffles. Now this piece we're finishing up tonight looks just like this, except missing this tab, so it can rotate more freely, and it has the speed holes there. So I thought, hey, why don't I just work on this on stream and give you all blindness from light mode? I swear there's a dark mode for Fusion out there somewhere, but I have not seen it yet. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, we're all good here still. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to raise up a companion groove. Which mode is that going to be? Yeah, raise up a companion groove. Yeah, set in a little bit from here. And then make a top. The top here to capture this, so the cable doesn't go springing out when you put too much pressure on it, because it does take a little bit to move Rusty's head back and forth. I had the test version was taped down with masking tape. It did not hold. Masking tape did not hold. Let's see. Let me just check this over here. Back over here. And there we go. Okay. Ugh. Light mode. Okay, let's see. Where was I earlier with this? The sketch. Show the sketches might help. Fusion's a lot of fun, but very different. I've been playing with it for a couple years now. Very different to use than the software I'm used to. Another Autodesk product, Maya, and very different from Blender too, I assume. It's just it takes a little bit of getting used to wrapping your head around how certain things work. Like none of the shortcut keys transfer over. Just took some getting used to. Okay, so right now we're going to do the inside. That's where we were with the auto test. Yes, the inside. I'm gonna raise that up. Where's my handy calipers and my test part? Here's where having another webcam would be handy. 8. You just the theater of the imagination. You have to imagine. Extrude. Outer test. Oh, we are not going to cut. We are going to join. Let's go at a slight angle so we can kind of see what we're doing. I am by no means a CAD professional. I'm not even a 3D professional. Once upon a time, I did a lot of architecture CAD and or architectural modeling and visualization. But that was a few years ago. So what you get now is a hobbyist. Take this, we're also going to extrude this, and now one of the things that makes Fusion fun that I haven't quite figured out how to do in Maya or other software. It has all these neat little tools that you can actually see here because I'm doing the full display capture. Let's see, we are going to start distance. Let's do to object, top. It wants to cut, but we're going to join. Let's see, start. There we go. Offset. We're going to offset it, I believe, 6. So what that did is I made the extrusion from the sketch. There's line art on top here. Now where where it's ending is this top plane right here, which matches the top of the pulley. And so it's ending there, and then I set the offset so it wouldn't be from the base layer, or the base of the drawing. It actually is this little spot right here, giving us this little bitty groove, which almost lines up. It's probably 6.5. There we go, 6.5. I still have this in my head from the other day when I was working on this. And that is exactly what we want. So I say, okay. It thinks about it for a second. And now we have somewhere for the some wiggle room for the brake cable, which is going to be pushing and pulling on this pulley, this part, and held in place from escaping by this side that we just extruded. Now, if I had wanted to, there's all sorts of ways to do things in 3D modeling. What I could have done is I could have sketched out this shape, this shape right here that is shown in this lighter color. I could have sketched out that shape and then had it, is it called lofting? Loft around the curve. Revolve, like this. Or sweep it along that same curve. There's all sorts of ways to do it. Lofting is not the term, though. So I extruded it 3 different times. Or I could have just drawn it once and done a revolve. Revolve would have been the best, because then I wouldn't have needed to use the circle in the sketch. Whereas sweep could follow the circle curve. All sorts of ways to do it. Okay. But that was an easy way, wasn't it? So these holes right here were because there were holes in the sketch. See, I drew these circles here, and I only selected, this is one of the things I love about Fusion. I just selected these shapes. If I didn't want the holes there, I would just also select them. Boom, shapes are gone, circles are gone. But these holes are how I'm going to screw it down to the base at the bottom of Rusty, or the hips. He doesn't have legs yet, and he probably won't ever. But these are the hips. The base of the spine would be the humanoid equivalent. Okay, so we got the outer test top done. However, I want to make sure it stays put. So the other part of the plan is to connect it to this center, the same center right here. So the same bolt that holds everything together here goes through the base, the piece of plywood actually. This could get vulgar real quick. It goes through the base of the plywood. It'll go through this outer guard, and then also connect to the pulley and keep it all sandwiched together. Won't be able to scooching around. So we're going to do something similar to how the pulley looks, and that'll go underneath the pulley. Pedal, as I have it in my naming convention here, that's poorly named. No longer outer test either. Why can't I rename that? Well, isn't that misbehaving to... Oh, it's... One thing I don't like about Fusion is how fussy it is about its movement controls. Say, there we go. Let's say guard. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is go back to the sketch. Hide the guard because it's being fussy. And what I want to select, there we go. What I want to select is just these pieces here, and here, and then the inside race. But I don't think that's going to work super well because that's going to use a ton of filament for this piece. So I think I'm going to make more speed hole, as they say. So I'm going to go back, I'm going to edit this sketch. And let's see about making some shapes. Oops. Let's see, we don't need most of this. What I am going to do, though, is make another circle right off the bat. Because I want somewhere for that pedal to ride on. The pulley to ride on. So we'll make it like a 90. That should be good. And then we want to add in some empty spots. So I think we will just create some lines. Let's make another circle up here first. Let's see. Because we want to have a little bit for it to stay on. Circle right there, and some lines now. And now there's going to be a lot of mess here. It's not the most clean and professional way to do this, of course. First we have this line. We're going to be using this one here. What I should be doing is making spaces and then placing them evenly, but actually, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to just use what I already have. That'd be the smart thing to do, wouldn't it? Now, I don't want the circles to necessarily match up exactly, but let's see what we can do here. I already have these two holes, the speed holes and the pulley. I'm just going to reuse those. Finish sketch this messy looking thing here. And then we are going to do another extrusion, except we're going to extrude down. So I don't have to do the math of get in between everything. Okay. Yes. So let's see. Yeah, we're going to extrude down and then extrude back up in a kind of overly complicated dealio. Okay, we do need this. This is the center pivot. I'm sure there's definitely a better, more efficient, more by-the-books way to do this. Yeah, it looks good. Okay. So, just so I can see what I am doing. Right there. Okay. We are going to extrude down. Let's see, I don't need it to be super thick. Maybe 4 millimeters plus a little bit for a flat washer. How thick is a flat washer? We'll say about a mil. Just had to pick one off the ground over there without running over my audio cables. So we are going to go -4. That should be good enough. So if we look and see what that's doing, there we go. It is extruding that downwards, and it looks like I missed something. This is why we double check things. No, I didn't. No, it's just an illusion in 3D. Okay, so I've got this whole area here. I'm extruding it downward, joining to this guard piece. So now we have one big solid half circle, bottle cap, it's a peanut butter jar lid. Okay, and what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take these two circles, punch a hole in them, which I could have done before I did this extrusion part. This one, and this one. Not gonna work quite as I envisioned, but it should be just fine. If I wanted to be nicer looking, I would also do these two circles. Because it doesn't need to be super strong. And it's definitely not super pretty. Okay, we want... Let's make them 20. Maybe I should have made the giant cutouts. Yeah, doing these changes on the spot is not the greatest idea, is it? I'm going to cancel that idea. The beauty of having sketches is you can go right back to the sketch. So this is our first line. I know there's a way to do it in here for more patterns. That isn't super important at the moment. So, ooh, what is nice is it says what degrees they are. So I can make them roughly, let's see, what is this? Start with this side. 0 degrees, so do about 20 degrees, that should be plenty. 20 degrees, we'll snap to this line. Oops, that. And if you have any questions, guys, just feel free to say hi. There we go, 20. 20. I'll put another line right here. Let's see, 90. Let's do lock it to that line. Do 80. So this is one of the powerful things you can do with CAD software, as opposed to some other methods. I'm sure you can do a lot of, it's called parametric modeling, where you're doing it all by the numbers. Things can adjust based on, like you change one thing, and it'll adjust over here. Like, for instance, that line I just laid down is locked to this outer circle. If I take this circle and I make it smaller, these lines will adjust, instead of just sticking out way past and then needing to go back and trim. I'm sure there's ways to do that in, there are ways to do that in other software, non-destructively. Non-destructively? Yes. Fun fact, you can actually model in Fusion destructively, but I don't want to try that. It gets rid of this lovely timeline at the bottom of the screen. Because you can go back and edit any of these elements. They call them features. So it's any step along the way. Like those extrusions I made earlier. Let's say I want it to be 6 millimeters thick instead of 4. You just go back to the extrusion right there. You edit it, and then it'll compensate for that later. If there's any major conflicts that it can't resolve automatically, it'll tell you. And then you have to go back and fix it before you can proceed with the next step sometimes. Okay, what do we got here? We got 175. So let's make that 155, because that's the theme we're going with. Okay, now for this hideous sketching. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're just going to pop these out of existence. Lines I just drew, you can see them divided nicely into panels here. And I'm going to try and I want some strength, so it holds the edges together. You know, holds it to the pivot, to the edges as a uniform distance, instead of squiggling all over the place. Yeah. Okay. So we are going to extrude again. -4, and that should pop a hole right through it. Ta-da! And then one final thing, which I didn't really discuss, is this pulley to ride up on top of pieces. I don't want the full friction of it being on the entire, the two surfaces rubbing against each other, because that's way too much friction. So, where this blue line is where the two pieces are touching. I just want just an outer rim. The outer rim. Because I'm going to have a flat washer sitting on top of here, a metal, most likely metal, probably not plastic, and just this ring will be the plastic at least will be touching the pulley, what I really need to rename as pulley. So we are going to lower these pieces, and because I have combined a number of pieces of the sketch together, which is a no-no, I have to do a lot more work selecting. There. Not that much more work. It was a pain in the butt, getting all these little bitty puzzle pieces, especially in this area. Because a little sloppy. Not like I'm sending this to a manufacturer though, so I'll be fine. Okay, so we are going to lower this by, you know what, I'm just going to get an actual metal flat washer. Let's see if I can reach with my mic cable here. Okay. Let's do some actual measurements. Oh, it is thicker than I thought it would be. 1.7 millimeters to 1.6. So I will need 2 millimeters of clearance. So I need to alter, which I can go back and edit these features. So that's nice. For now, though, we are going to extrude down -2. Cut. But let's see which extrusion. Which extrusion? I believe this cut out the triangles. Oh, that lofted or extruded that. So this one, you see where it's highlighted in blue. Like I said, this is one of the cool features of the software. You can just go back and edit the feature. We went -4. We're just going to do -6. And you'll notice that the triangles have not been cut out of these pie pieces. They have not been cut out yet because on the timeline, right down here, they are this step right here. So we don't know about that yet. Oop. And now we have to edit that step too. Edit feature. And also be -6. And there we go. That's the piece we want. And let's spin it around. I had the sketch for now. So this will be what the piece looks like. If I had my camera hooked up over there, I could show you the test piece and the pulley itself. But I did not prepare ahead. So let's just see how it's going to fit. Spin around in 3D a little bit. Okay, there you go. Zoom way in. The rendering isn't the greatest. Even worse for what you guys are seeing, because I have to stream at 720 instead of 1080. But if you see, now we have a gap. Except at the very edge here, the edge is going to ride on here. And there's going to be a flat washer. Oops. A flat washer here in between these two pieces. So we're all good. I can now just save this for export after I restart my music. And take another drink from my not coffee, adult beverage. I apologize if you get any food eating ASMR, well, not food, drinking ASMR. I'm not in the right category for that. All right. So I do believe we are ready to export this. Let's go back to FunView. I could do more things to tweak this to make it print faster, reduce material. This is going to be printed at about, let's see. Well, let's do some specs here. What I plan on doing is probably my printer. I have a Ender 3 V2. Love it. Mostly tuned. And I've had really good success with doing 3 walls, 20% infill with the filament I'm using. It's a PLA plus. Who knows? But it's a PLA plus. Love this stuff. Nice and strong. But 3 walls? I would go 2 walls normally, but 3 walls is good here because there's going to be some rubbing and kind of tension in between these 2 surfaces. So there'll be, the cable will be pushing and pulling against those. Not super tough because I control the pressure, so it's not terrible. But why not? It doesn't actually add that much more filament. On the pulley, when I went from 2 walls to 3 walls, it was like half a meter, which is honestly, that's pretty negligible for my uses. You know, they're not super expensive rolls of filament. I'm not printing any fancy filaments. Is a PLA plus. I love the brand. If anybody wants to know, I'll look it up later and post it. I definitely don't do enough printing at this point to go for any, like, you know, fancy sponsorships or anything. but I do plan on doing some kind of behind-the-scenes video and putting it up on the YouTubes. I think that could be a lot of fun. Okay, let's see. So, what is next? Put that out of there. And... got that. And... I'm just going to save this here. And then we'll switch over to Maya so we can do... What were we doing? Oh, the ugly mech. There's just a little tad bit of March of Robots left, and I want to at least get something, get it jointed up and ready to go. Will I actually get it accomplished? No, sadly, and I knew I wouldn't. I just do not have the time right now. Got 2 little kids. You know, 2 little kids, work, spend time with them, spend time with them and my family. Just not a lot of time at the moment, so I'm trying to squeak in what I can and still practice streaming here. So for now, we are going to move this over to the other screen because Fusion would just love to tell you who I am. There, and this way I don't need to switch. There we go. Save that, and I will export that later. Hopefully I don't stutter while it tries to shove it up to the cloud. Okay, and now this you can see. Oh no, my username. Actually, conveniently, my avatar is hiding this, but I am Rusty. I'm Rusty, user Rusty, and this is my directory. We were doing. Oh, let's for fun, where we left last time. Okay, where we left off last time, we posed this at the very end of last stream. Oh, and I can move the screen down a little bit because Maya, unlike Fusion, isn't going to dox me. So it's oops, that's not the right one. I guess we got to just move this back down manual. Snap, snap. There we go. Okay. Though, you know, this one won't dox me, but and let you all know my real names. That's what I mean by doxing. But what it, I'm sure the modern subscriptions would. This is a lovely perpetual license to an older version of Maya. We are 8 years out of date. But you know what? Works just fine. And I'm not one of those that's like, oh, no, they just want more money. No, they add a ton of features with every release. At least to my general knowledge of barely keeping up with it. Tons of features with every release, at least the yearly releases. Is everybody going to use all the features? No. Because if you're in a studio or even just as a freelancer, you're going to focus on more specific roles because each role is a huge skill set. Like you'll be maybe just modeling or modeling and rigging and animating, you know, just texturing and retopologizing. These are all different roles. So you won't use all the tools they come out with or all the toys they come out with from version to version, but they make enough, in my opinion. This is, of course, all my opinion here. I'm not going to be one of those people that's like, this is the facts. No, in my opinion, tons of stuff. Oh yeah, and stuff I don't even touch, like physics. Like this is the last version that I paid for because I was doing a lot of modeling and animated at the time. And they had just come out with, I think, a whole new physics engine. I was never going to touch it, but damn, it was just really cool. I have access to it. Do I have time to learn it? No. I don't even have time to learn the new rendering render networks. So if I do update, if I do use this 3D software enough, I have no problem paying the indie license, which I think is only like $150 a year. It could be more, and if it is more, then yeah, I will have to think about how much it costs as opposed to just using an old version. But I know there's lots of cool like particle generators and the Mesh tool set. Mesh? Something like that. Really cool. In Blender, the equivalent I think would be GeoNodes. But yeah, there's just all sorts of cool toys that I really want the time to play with, but we'll get to it. I think my plan for the near future is to go through and, as I'm building my skills back up, relearning essentially relearning the 3D software. I might switch to Blender. I might do both. Who knows? I do hope to make a little series of recreating scenes. I'm going to focus mostly on robots, mecha, hard body devices, those kind of things, not organic modeling. And I want to make a little series of recreating these props or these figures and recreating them, remodeling them, and animating them just for fun. Like each one will be its own little project, and we'll just see where it goes from there. No promises, no lofty goal, too big of goal of having a course. This will be more like, or a series of courses. This will be more like just following along on my journey, because I enjoy watching those kind of videos. Not necessarily. I mean, I definitely enjoy watching the videos to learn, but also just to watch people's progress and see how they're learning, how their methods and their workflows and such. And it's fun watching the artist's journey. And that and art studio tours. Someday I hope to show my actual workshop. Maybe we'll work on Rusty and assemble some parts at a major upgrade or something. But I have a nice home workshop with some machining tools and woodworking tools, and it'd be nice to show that, integrate that into the whole Rusty robot factory. But for now, we're going to do this. All right. So here's where we left off last time. Previously, no more light mode from Fusion, so hope your eyes all recover. But where we had gotten is basically just the arm. That's pretty much as far as I got. But I have it. I have the pivot set anyways, that we can pose it. Now, is this rigged and ready to animate? No, it is not. We do not have a proper skeleton. Let's see, Rusty base. Let's see, Rusty, this green line. This green line is part of the skeleton for Rusty. So if we rotate that, hey, look, I'm doing this right now. That is my shoulder joint right here. But he is just for reference, except for the head. I'll lock him back down. So what I will be doing here is I'm going to finish up, I think, the forearm and maybe the hand. The chest piece. And I will go down to probably the abdomen and the hips. right here, the equivalent, I should say, the equivalent of the abdomen and the hips. And then I'm going to rig it up. Now, it'll still probably be pretty rough by the end of March. So, as for the ugly mech project, he can be ugly. But I hope to continue with this, add more detail, and maybe even make a high-res, non-low poly version of the ugly mech. We'll see. This is all a fun journey. So, if you can squint your eyes and see these little wireframes here, this is as far as we've gotten through working through the blocking process, which I was thinking about the other day. Well, I should have been, coding at the day job. I was thinking about this, and I really should have just drawn and sketched out what I wanted him to look like. Side view, front view, maybe an action shot, like this action shot here, just a default pose. Really should have sketched that out more and worked that out, so I'm not sitting here in 3D, kind of be like, I wonder how this shape should be, because it'd already be drawn out. I would have a reference. So I know last time I did refer quite a bit to Armored Core. Let's see, where are you in my reference folder? Yeah, the Armored Core shots from the trailer. Ooh, there we go. Lovely. Got that one, and one of the Gundam mechs. This one. Including the dubious, I don't know why they went with that color scheme. That's just kind of goofy. I mean, he's got like Muppet googly eyes looking right at you. I don't know. But what I do know is, zoom, this shoulder, I love this shoulder here. Because, to my eyes anyways, you can see how it's all connected. Which is one of the things that drew me, no pun intended, drew me to the frames of the Gundam. In this series, they build the armor on the outside of the frames, basically. So you have this nice Terminator-looking base frame or base body, and it just builds on that. And then they place the armor pieces over that to make it look more like a Gundam. Well, I can take this and use that as reference. Oh, and he's got some nice armor for his butt joint there. But if you're looking at this, you go, okay, this is how the arm goes this way. Here's the elbow. Not entirely sure what this cylinder does. If it's like a stabilizer for the elbow, maybe. Or maybe this is what actually makes the elbow move, and not this piece right here. My other problem with this little project is I was thinking way too much. Way too much thinking about how everything would work and connected in reality. I don't need to think that hard about this. This is this is basically a sketch. So we're going to do kind of a combination of things. So I've got this here, simplified it, left last time at this connection. So this is his elbow from Armored Core here. This is the elbow. And so I use that as reference for my own elbow right here. And the forearm looks like it's a weapon attachment point, which is kind of a cool idea. So I think I'm going to use that same idea, that this is the base, is a weapon connection point, or the limb connection. So essentially it's the bones of the forearm. And then whatever you want on the outside attaches to that. So if you want an arm, or if you want a hand, that would attach to this. It's kind of how I would have actual Rusty too. Down the road when I finally give him arms, of course. But this file was posed. I do not want to work from the posed file, so we're going to bring them back to modeling view. Okay, and we have to bring up the outliner. Where is our outliner? Layers, Windows. Somewhere in here. There it is. Way over there. I mean, having multiple monitors is cool, but man, you get like tennis whiplash. Here we go. Why can't I dock this? Can I dock this? Okay, well, I guess we're just going to leave it in this corner. Hiding behind Rusty. And Winamp. So fun little story about Winamp over there. You can see my little Winamp hiding in the corner. That is actually Winamp playing. You can still download it, by the way. That is Winamp playing some royalty-free music for streaming. The last of my tasty beverage. Some royalty-free music for streaming. This is backing track. Fun stuff. I love their this very vaporwaves is this song. It's very vaporwave synthy rock chip. No, it's not really chiptunes. They have chiptunes also, but love it. And you've probably heard this album like every other stream here, but yeah, it's actually Winamp in the side there playing. I was thinking about doing a visualizer that looked like Winamp, that kind of mimicked the little bouncing. It's not the equalizer, but you know, the little bouncing waveform there. But then, classic Rusty fashion, I was overthinking it. I just game captured Winamp. Done. Now, if I was using like Spotify or something, I would want to use a plugin source or browser source, but I'm not. So I can just, capture the actual app. So that's a little fun tangent. I do believe I have tangents in the tags down below because, damn, do I like to ramble and make tangents. Hold on, let me check. I do indeed. Okay, so we're safe. And I think I'm going to stay in Makers and Crafting as a category because, I don't know, I think give that a shot. I was using Fusion before, and I'm going to 3D print that last piece. I might 3D print this one too. So that'll be my justification for staying here in Makers and Crafting. Okay. Now if anyone scolds me, I'll go scurry back over to the art department and get out of the makerspace. Ooh, in my brainstorm, I did figure out, brainstorming the other day, on how to do this. The front back. The hinge point will be here. In fact, I am going to put in that hinge point right now. So this pipe will push. It'll push the shoulder forward and backwards from the spine, which are these wireframes right here. So what we're gonna have easy. This was an easy fix. Or fix addition, easy addition. Come on. Was an easy addition. What we're going to do is we're just going to make that a hinge joint here. And the two shoulders will move... I don't think they'll move off of one column. They'll either move off of... I'll decide this later. But they'll move off of one pipe. You know, hinge off the same shaft. That looks unfortunate to use the word shaft with. It'll use the same pipe. We'll say pipe. So either the same pipe or two pipes. And that's how we'll get this forward, backward, or forward movement. In the humanoid body, see this, all this action in the shoulder here. That's because we have a ball joint. Come on. We have a ball joint, much like your hips. Shoulders and hips are the same kind of joint. It's the bone rotating and moving around in a socket. And then controlled by your muscles. Mechanically, I don't want to represent that, but have it be, you know, obviously mechanical. Rusty VTuber here, not obviously mechanical, except for the noggin, made up of parts. See, I even cheat. I don't have any neck. No neck. See? No neck. I might add in a neck to either mimic IRL Rusty or have a little spinal column coming down at some point, maybe. I think that could be fun. Just have it drill into the base, the base of what would be the body spine. Especially if I use other outfits like Farmer Rusty. I'm gonna live my best Stardew life here someday. I also have other bodies in the pipeline that I'm using from 3D model or 3D asset packs. So Cinti Studios puts out some awesome low poly models, like my business suit. And so I'm going to add in a whole stack of them so I can just toggle between all of them. It's going to be a lot of fun. I might make the tie standard, though. I mean, it'd be funny to have a farmer with a little glowing necktie. But yeah, I also have been playing around with not a Stream Deck, but a Touch Portal, which is an app version of a Stream Deck. So I mapped a whole bunch of buttons around. So I can switch. We have two cameras right now. Close up, far away, or normal mode. Business suit. Oh, no suit. Green screen Rusty here. Farmer outfit. Business suit. I got the cat set up. Check it out. I got the cat eye. Cat ears. I do want to add a little texture change in polygons to make it look like the inside of a cat ears, but yeah, make that go away. God, there we go. I do have angry. I have that mapped to different keys. This is more effective with the orange angry eyes. But no, it's just fun little things I've been adding to the model as we go. Some of it on stream, some of it off stream. Take what little time that I can get. Alright. Now that I've accomplished absolutely nothing in like the last 20 minutes except some rambling. Okay, where were we? Where were we? I should have a counter for that. Cylinder. Maybe I will talk a little bit less for the moment, just so I can get a little bit more done. That is a little too big. I'm going to try and do most of this with configuring with the keys instead of scaling and guesstimating. This is kind of what I was referring to before with the parametric. You can go back at any time. I don't know if this is technically parametric modeling, but you can go back at any time with my, oops, we're upside down, and change these numbers. So like I can go back to this shape right here and change the radius on it, which I probably should because that's pretty tiny. But the thing that where I'm unclear if it's actually technically parametric, I just do a Google search, but where it's technically parametric or not is you change these numbers, and if you've done any edits to the mesh itself, aside from just the parameters of the object, right there, if you do any changes to the mesh itself, you will get unexpected results. And yeah, it's messy. It's usually pretty messy. Stretch and, you know, punch out my monitor here on the other side of the screen. But you know what? We are... This is just going to be the shoulder. Getting back on topic here, mind you. Let's make it about... You know, honestly, it doesn't even need to be that large. There. That's about all it needs to be. It's going to be all covered up anyways, so this is more of just the suggestion of... For low poly, we should go in chunk here. This is a suggestion of there being a joint right there. One of the things I am thinking, though, is maybe I do need two of them. One on each side of the neck, the spine, which you see in the wireframe. Or we do this. See this behind me or not? I like this idea better. Oh, I like this idea way better. I mean, that solves a problem for how blocky it looked before. It definitely takes care of that issue. Now this is still a rough, you know, I can come back anytime and change this. It's still a very rough model of it. There's something like that. Make it more of a guard. In fact, we could even have it be this way further. There. Now it's less cube-like. I was gonna say less blocky, but that's the whole point. Is that it's supposed to be blocky? But yeah, it's definitely less cube-like now. I'm gonna have to change the spine just a little bit. So these two, I don't know why I'm tilting my head so far. So these two spine chunks here are going to go into this cylinder, or the housing around the cylinder, more likely. And then the spine will continue from the back here. Be very hunched over. Sadly, I don't have any kind of full body tracking or partial body, VR tracking, so I can't hunch. But maybe I'll build some animation into the model, or I'll just use this as an more of an animation model instead of a VTubing model. So I'm wondering if I should pause on the arms for now, because the next thing I want to do with the arms is a working hand. Something like, let's pull up, let's see, pet labor, movie, and animation. Is pet labor a mecha? What kind of Google result is that? Oh no. It's going to want me to log into Pinterest. No? Get rid of that. Let's just bring this over here. I don't think it'll dox me too badly. Click to make the most out of this idea. Okay. So this hand. This isn't the shot I was thinking of, but this is a very awesome representation. I should just make a Pinterest so I can save it. Or use my own Blu-ray, I guess. Oh, and that shoulder, too. Okay. That's how they solve the shoulder problem. That is awesome. Can I zoom in? I cannot zoom in. Interesting. I don't remember this scene from the movie. Must have been very quick. So his shoulder rotates differently than mine is set up. And there's little hydraulic cylinders there for fine-tuned movement. But I definitely want to replicate something like this for the hand movement. So I'm going to model a basic hand. Probably 5 fingers. Spinning around a joint. Yeah, that'll be next time, because I actually am going to sketch that out a little bit. Need to find one of my older hand models. Maybe I can just replicate that back when I did some more organic modeling. Way back when, if I go back far enough, I wanted to take one of my models I made back in college. It's only 25 years out of date, 20 years out of date. Low poly, because dang, that's what we had back then. It is amazing how fast computers have gotten for rendering, for one thing. Okay. But yes, we are going to switch to doing the neck now, because I, don't have much more time tonight. And I get stuck by inspiration here. So, departing drastically from that previous scene, we are going to play with this guy instead. And like I was just rambling on about before, it does not need to be perfect. In fact, this should actually be the other way around. This should be, this hoop is where the body should be, and this ring. See, so it's not going to be perfect anyways. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, now we are going to build the neck chunks off of this. Maybe a little too chunky. There we go. I will probably make this I will probably come in here and refine this greatly in the future. Still trying to figure out why my default cube is resorting to such weird sizes. Let's see, where are we up here? About 185. I'm going to remember that so I can just type in the numbers instead of zooming out every single time. Let's see, am I still blocking the view? No, okay. This, oops, not 50. So I want his neck to be kind of vulnerable looking, like a General Grievous kind of way. You know, aside from that bulky, you know, covered up in that bulky cloak and, you know, some armor plating, it's just this like wretched little, you know, skeleton, you know, Roger bot almost beneath there. And just, you know, not super well built. But then you see that he's not a Roger. I forget his little battle droid. He's not a battle droid. He's a very expensive, customized version of battle droid, a cyborg in his case. But I want to get that same creepy, hunched over feeling. You know, creepy, hunched over, not in the greatest of condition. Where was I rambling? Yeah, get that same feeling. So that's partially why I want such an arched spine. It's gonna lean, be kind of menacing. Also, he's gonna have this tiny little head and this big mecha body, so that's fun too. But yeah, of course, as always, if you have any questions, just say hey. Chat pulled up on the side of my monitor here. I don't have it overlaid. Don't have a super active chat right now. But as chat gets more active, I'm sure I'll put y'all on the screen so y'all say hi. Have conversations with each other, whoever doesn't have the little sidebar pulled up. It must be one of the weirdos that I'm watching on my, I should say not weirdos, in the minority of Twitch viewers, where I watch Twitch in a window and not full screen. Because a lot of times I lurk while I work. So I kind of treat Twitch as like my podcast, I guess. There we go. Yeah, I treat Twitch kind of like a podcast in that prefer just chatting and art streams usually. Except if they're playing like an action game or something, then I wanna focus on it. Over here on my not work monitor, I wanna focus on it, see what they're doing, but then I'm not working. Be interesting to see demographics of how people consume live streams. You know, like, are you, even if you're watching, even if you're viewing, I should say, viewing a gaming stream, are you Are you actually watching people play? Are you just glancing over when some cool thing happens? Like, how do people actually... How do people consume the Twitch? It'd be interesting to find out. Okay, I think I'm going to start to refine this piece at least. Let's throw some bevels on it. Make it look a little bit different. Actually, I'm going to cheat on those bevels I was just talking about. Just going to extrude instead of... Ooh, this is going to be tricky with the things in the way. I think I'm just going to extrude instead of actually beveling. I'm not going to be beveling a number of features on this. I changed my mind again. I'm the streamer, I can do whatever I want. In this case, it'll be changing my mind again for the 800th time. Another thing I have to do one of these days. Rememorize the shortcut keys for the stuff at the top of the screen. Definitely need to do that again. Like these guys, switching, let's see, right mouse for more info. Nope. The tooltips, by the way, the tooltips of Maya are hiding behind me, down at the corner there, behind my back. They are not always super descriptive. Let's see which view we want to. Nope, not that one. Not that one. I think we've been sticking with a 2.5. Is offset the one we're looking for? Yes, offset is what we're looking for. Okay. What does 2 look like? 2 is a little excessive, okay. Okay, that's looking nice. It's not quite a 45 degree. So now what I'm going to do is go back in here, re-rotate that. It was much easier to work with not having to compensate for that 40-degree angle. That's why I reset it. Okay, so that's why I reset it, and get rid of that guy, because now we are going to reduplicate this and move him down. Man, what I should do is do the same exact thing and mirror him so it looks like more of a joint. So funny enough, we're going to take this guy back. Go back to face mode. Extrude. The local translate. It's local, so that means it's gonna do a plus based on where this this face is facing. Keep faces together. Thickness. What does thickness do? Oh. How does thickness versus local translate? I bet that makes a difference somewhere along the lines. Ooh, actually, oh man. Okay, so if I put that to 0, and I do this as a negative 2.5, what does that look like? Okay, I like that, but I don't like that at the same time. I mean, this would make a lot of sense if we're doing like a chain. I think I'm going to, I should say roller chain. I think we're going to stick with this, and then just kind of fake it. I might add a pivot in there at some point. Come on. Oh, where did you disappear? Where did you... That was not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do this. Interestingly enough, it is much shorter than I anticipated. Let's duplicate it one last time, and we're just going to kind of hide one inside of Rusty's head for now. That is kind of a neat look. So what I've got here is the neck. Neck needs a little bit more rotation. Fine-tune these shapes just a little bit more. Let's go. There we go. Now I have enough space for all of these guys. We're going to fake that they are together. Oh, that is looking good. Okay. So now we have a creepy looking spine. Or the neck part of the spine at least. Here's the rotation for the shoulder, or at least part of the shoulder. Fix that right away too. Hope any Maya veterans that are watching this aren't getting too frustrated with me. It says right there on the tin, Rusty. Okay, so I like using the hypergraph instead of the outliner for this, so I'm going to switch back. I'm going to put these joints in their proper groups. Hypergraph, hierarchy, here we go. Okay, the armature is hidden. Or not hidden, it is a template, so we can't mess that up. But we did just add these new... There we go. We did just add these new shapes, and they are all in the same area, so that's nice. Cylinder, cylinder. You guys are actually going to go under the shoulder. Which part of the shoulder, though? Where are you? Oh, you're in a completely different group. I think I was originally going to have this be part of the main torso. So if anything, all of these should be grouped underneath the clavicle. So that's technically what this is. Well, it's pretty close to what the clavicle is right here. For now, because we're not going to be too fussy, I'm going to shove this over here. I'm going to rename it, though. Cylinder 9 is not super intuitive. Ugh. Don't look at that. Don't look at my scuff. They're all cylinders and cubes. This is going to be pivot. The shoulder center pivot, maybe. Spine. Pivot. Yeah, that is a descriptive but ugly naming convention. Okay, what are you? You're way back there. You are kind of your own thing. Where's the neck? Okay, the head, the neck. So these three guys are the neck. We're now neck group. From the neck group, we should have the spine holder. Okay, so this guy actually goes in the neck group. Neck, neck, neck. 1, 2, 3. Don't know if it should be 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1. I will. Actually, I can look right over here. Neck 1. Do I have a neck 2? I do not have a neck 2. Okay, so spine 1, spine 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we work our way up from the hips. So this is neck 1. That's the wrong key. Two. Technically, this could either be neck 3 or, in reality, I will eventually just put it on the back of the head, because this is the head connection. Oh man, it was actually coming together. Kind of like it. Kind of like it. Okay. We are coming up on 10 o'clock, so I think after this, all this naming, we are going to call it. That's that rotational group. This is this rotational group. We're going to call this one the clavicle. Clavicle? I assume. Clavicle group. Shoulder group's going to go inside the clavicle group. I am going to, while I'm here, where on earth? Where have all the pivots gone? Okay. Your pivot is way out of base. Okay. Modify. Center pivot, there you are. We are going to turn back on snap to grid because I was smart and made most of the things snap to the grid. There we go. Get back out of pivot editing mode, and fingers crossed, we have a glorious spine movement. Now, like I mentioned before, here, let's enjoy this first. Okay, cool. So that is the clavicle and shoulder connection, now attached to the neck or spine. I will have to change this a little bit. Or not. I might just hollow this out so it looks like it's two flanges from the clavicle attached to this central pipe pivot. So that means putting a little piece up here, a little piece down there to attach to the central cylinder. Because I do like, let me undo this quick, do like how the neck attaches right there. I think that's going to look really sharp. Really sharp, except of course for where the entire thing is hidden underneath like a cloak or armor piece or something. But I think at this wonderful juncture, let's get a good ending shot. Looks on the screen. It'll be like, behold my boy. Behold my boy, I says. Alrighty. Let's see. Who are we going to... Can we raid someone? Let's see, we got... Oh wow, we got some interesting people here. Let's see what's going on. Do I have my desktop audio muted? Okay, good. So you won't see who I'm trying to peek on first. Let's do a little raid. You know what? We're just gonna call it a night, I think. See y'all next time.